morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olson, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who's like another week, another cave. Just, doing what he does, hanging out in caves with the Rohirrim here. So, he's really been wondering a lot about the chairs. The barrels, okay, it's just conceivable that if you're fleeing the town, you would bring supplies with you, and it's almost conceivable that should those supplies happen to be ready to hand in a large barrel, one might grab the barrel on the way out the door, right? I mean, if the orcs attack by night, in the middle of the night, that seems unlikely. But, it's possible. These buckets over here, similar. Buckets are handy, right? So there's a bucket near to hand, you toss some supplies in it, and you take off, right? That is fine. The pots, too, look at that. Like carrying vessels with handles combined with cooking gear. I mean, so, again, you got 5 minutes, you throw stuff in a cooking pot and take it with you, and then you not only have stuff, you've got a pot. These crates, okay, little awkward, little unwieldy, but maybe. But the chairs, right? The chairs, that takes a lot of believing. I do, however, admire all the firewood that they have sawn and chopped since they got here. Obviously, they need firewood. But they've not just, collected dead wood for their fires. No. They have gone through all the trouble of actually sawing and then splitting all of these logs. Now, that, I imagine, could be a kind of catharsis, especially if they've run into angry trees along the way. Though I guess the primary question to me is why they first went to all that trouble and then apparently heaped, I should say, their wood underneath this steady drip. But, look, Gryfflet's not going to criticize. I mean, okay, he is criticizing, but he's going to stop criticizing now. Okay, all right, so, there we go. Yeah, Erocab, the wood stacking, not impressive, right? Not impressive. But anyway, what can you do? All right, so Gryfflet is ready to take on the edge of the Balewood. We have, let's see, moving out. Okay. All right, so yeah, I got tons of quests here in the edges of the Balewood. I'm tempted to flee the Bale, because okay, maybe you guys can advise me. Nona's quests, sending me to go look for herbs or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Oh, no, I'm supposed to kill orcs and take stuff from them of some kind. But anyway, whatever. I forget what it is. But the quest text will remind me. The point is, that's up in the High Knolls, right? She has me going to fetch things from the High Knolls, totally in the other direction. And her quest is the only thing that's taking me in that direction. So my question is, should I go do that? If I take care of that first, will she then send me into the Balewood, and then I can double up on my epic quest and my regional quests again? Or am I going to go back? Am I done with the apart from the epic? Am I done with the High Knolls now? Am I like Bale? Because it looks like I'm kind of moving my way that way, right up through Wildemore, and the Balewood is like the last frontier. But if I'm gonna get sent back eventually to the High Knolls, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, all right. So I think I will do that then. I think I will go and do the Nona quests before I get too much further entrenched in the Balewood quests. And then we'll come back when we can just focus on the Balewood. Now, let's just go overland. Let's see what happens. What could go wrong? Okay. There's something in the Writhen Woods still? Wait, what? The Writhen... Oh, the Writhen Downs. Oh, that one seems to be Nana's quest. I guess there's an orc down here. I didn't notice that ring at all, but I guess there's an orc down there who has herbs. I don't really know. Okay. All right. So I wanted to start today. So I've my shortcut has gone crooked already. Okay. Oh no, I'm being channeled on this narrow path through the. This is. Oh, okay. Well, at least I'm heading south. Hang on a second. I'm gonna use my war steed because that's gonna make it better. That's gonna make it better. And then I can wear my hat, which makes me invisible. Okay. Great. Oh, this is gonna be excellent. The refugees could not defend against such creatures. Ooh, look, a quest. Oh, no, that's one of the orcs I'm supposed to take their clothes. I forgot about that disgusting quest. Okay, sure. All right, we're gonna continue. An Icebound Reaver, that's a really good name. Okay, as I was saying, I have a sort of quest, a lore quest. I had a lore question that came in through social media, and it was one of those. It was not one of those questions really that could conveniently be answered briefly, like, you know, in a social media sort of context. So, I wanted to discuss it here, and because I thought you guys would be interested too. So. Let me pause while I read. The question is about the Entwives. In fact, I'm gonna read out of an actual book, which is Tolkien's Collected Letters. So the question is, what really happened to the Entwives? But which is a common enough question. But the question is specifically about two different things that Tolkien said in two different letters. So there's one letter 144, when he says, I think that in fact the Entwives had disappeared for good, being destroyed with their gardens in the War of the Last Alliance, when Sauron pursued a scorched earth policy and burned their land against the advance of the allies down the Anduin. They survived only in the agriculture transmitted to men and hobbits. Some, of course, may have fled east or even have become enslaved. Tyrants, even in such tales, must have an economic and agricultural background to their soldiers and metalworkers. If any survived so, they would indeed be far estranged from the Ents, and any rapprochement would be difficult unless experience of industrialized and militarized agriculture had made them a little more anarchic. I hope so. I don't know. So that was the way that he answered that question in letter 144, and then way up in letter 338, he's answering a question, and he says, as for the Entwives, I do not know. I have written nothing beyond the first few years of the Fourth Age. And then he says, except for the beginning of like the sequel to The Lord of the Rings, which he gave up on. He says, but I think it is plain that there would be for Ents no reunion in history. But Ents and their wives, being rational creatures, would find some earthly paradise until the end of this world, beyond which the wisdom neither of elves nor Ents could see. Though maybe they shared the hope of Aragorn, that they were not bound forever to the circles of the world, and beyond them is more than memory. Okay, so the question is, which is it? Right? That's basically the question. He said these two things, which is, like, how do we understand and how do we reconcile these things? Now, let me start with a general piece of advice, and this is very, very important. This was something that when we used to talk, Verlin Flieger in her courses always emphasizes this. Very, very appropriate. This is a very important lesson from Verlin Flieger. When you're reading Tolkien's letters, a lot of times people will take Tolkien's letters out of context. That is, they'll just look at the text of the letters as if these letters were like Tolkien writing this stuff for our benefit, you know? And we could just kind of take this as like objective sayings of Tolkien, collected all together. It's not what this is. These are letters, and he wrote them to particular people for particular purposes at particular times. So the most important thing whenever you're reading Tolkien's letters, pay attention. Whom is he writing to? Right? Whom is he writing to? When is he writing? What is the date? Right? What is the context in Tolkien's own like literary journey, right, in which he wrote that? And as much as you can tell, what is the context of the letter? Like, what kind of letter is it, if you see what I mean? Okay. His first letter, the first of the two letters I just read from, I think that they're probably dead, killed by Sauron during his scorched earth policy, or maybe worse, enslaved. Some few remnants of them enslaved. That was letter 144. That was written to Naomi Mitchison in April of 1954. That is during the publication process, during the proofreading stage of The Lord of the Rings. So like right in the sort of the middle of everything there. Naomi Mitchison now is... she's in publishing. She's a kind of, not exactly a peer. I mean, she's not exactly a peer in the sense of being like a fellow scholar with him exactly. But she's also not just like a random member of the public either. She's somebody who knows the books and is asking, and so these are sort of, this is him elaborating ideas about the book to somebody who's like in the publishing world, basically. The second letter is letter 338. This is an extract from a letter to Father Douglas Carter. So he's writing to it's a private letter to a Catholic priest, acquaintance. So in other words, somebody who's totally outside of the context of like, who's not necessarily like deeply invested in his stories, in Tolkien's stories, but someone who is kind of more of a friend, essentially. But the date is, to me, of a special interest here. The date is June 6th, 1972. Now, trivia question. Can anybody tell me about the year, where the year 1972 sits in relationship to Tolkien's life and works? Answer. Far down the line, right? It's the year before Tolkien dies. Exactly. So it's at the very, it's in essentially the last full year of his life. So that's a very, very late letter. Now, what exactly does that mean? So the first thing that he wrote that, okay, I gotta make sure. Okay. I think I wanted to go downhill instead of up. I'm going to get off my horse so I can jump off cliffs. Okay. So anyway, so it's all, there are a lot of later reflections that lie behind the later letter, right? I mean, whereas the first one was written right during the publication stages of The Lord of the Rings, while he was still working out a lot of these ideas. So you'll notice that the first one is sort of emphasizes essentially trying to kind of figure out, not figure out exactly. Well, sometimes he's figuring them out. But essentially trying to work out the kind of backstories that he never told, right? So, like, what did Sauron do, when the armies of the Last Alliance were headed in his direction, And that's one of the ways in which we can really see him answering that question to Naomi Mitchison. Whereas in the later one, you'll notice how much more metaphysical he's getting. He starts talking about an earthly paradise. He is explicitly contemplating, not in much detail, but he's explicitly contemplating the question of what happens to Ents after death. And that's not at all surprising. And those of you who did my discussion of Morgoth's Ring with me in the Mythgard Academy, which we just finished a 28 session discussion of Volume 10 of the History of Middle-earth, Morgoth's Ring. And the primary thing that we were seeing there... Why is Gryfflet standing in a spotlight? Like a really strong spotlight. It's a little awkward for somebody who's trying to sneak around. Yeah, no wonder you saw me. Anyway, whatever. So, anyway, like I said, there's a lot of question. Anyway, okay, it's not surprising to anybody who has studied Morgoth's Ring carefully that Tolkien later in his life would be thinking in that way about the question. Would be, sort of imagining the sort of like eternal and would be asking these sort of spiritual questions. The reason it's not surprising is that this is the kind of thing that he had been thinking through a lot between like 1960 and 1970. I won't give the 56-hour version of the explanation to this question, but that is the length of my whole discussion of Morgoth's Ring. I will just say that in that period, one of the primary things that he was doing was trying to reconcile the whole world. Like, he was trying to take his mythology, his Silmarillion mythology, and he was trying to make it fit within the kind of world that the Lord of the Rings became, within the kind of story that the Lord of the Rings was. He wanted it to hold together and to be a sort of a fully believable secondary world, which means he needed to work out the philosophy. And so he spent a lot of time talking about like the difference between, so elves are immortal and men aren't, right? Well, what does that mean? And in what senses? And why is that? And how is it that their souls are different and their souls and body, they both have souls and bodies, and how are their souls and bodies different, and how does it work? And how did the fall of man affect this? And all of these questions, right? In order to try to make the whole kind of metaphysical context of not just the Lord of the Rings, but the Silmarillion all hold together and make sense. He spent a lot of time on these kinds of things, and in that context wrote one of the most beautiful things that I believe that he ever wrote. One of my very favorite Tolkien pieces of all, which is the Athrobeth of Finrod and Andreth. Now, the Athrobeth means the debate, essentially, sort of the conversation between Finrod Felagund, the Elf Lord, and Andreth, the human wise woman, slightly embittered human wise woman, and we eventually learn the reason for her embitterment. Anyway, so that is. And that was like early to mid 60s, basically, that he was writing these things, and I'm going to come to that cliff that I have to jump off in order to. Okay, I didn't stop in time. Stop, Gryfflet. Stop. Carry on. Whoa. Okay. Yikes. Anyway, so yeah. So he was thinking a lot about these things then. So it shocks me not at all that in 1972, when coming to that question a second time, and not only coming to that question a second time after he'd done all that stuff, but in a letter to a Catholic priest, right, whom perhaps he might have thought might well be interested in kind of the spiritual matters, and to whom he sort of felt free to discuss those things, perhaps in some sense. That he began talking about earthly paradise and like what might have happened to them. Not only the question of whether or not they are alive, but what would have happened to them after death. So again, that doesn't seem to me surprising at all. So the question is, like, these two things seem incompatible. Again, the question is, which is it, right? Are they dead, or does he not know? I think that the primary thing that I would say is that it's clear, even from the first one, that he's speculating. Right? He did not have a plan. I do not think that he was being coy about this. There are a lot of things that, there are several things to which Tolkien generally responded in his life. I don't know the answer to that question. It seems clear to me that when Tolkien was asked questions by people, he very often discovered the answer to those questions in the context of writing the answers to those questions, right? So it's not like he already had everything worked out and then just kind of chose to reveal a little snippet when somebody asked. It often instead seems to me to be that when the asking of the question was the impetus of for the discovery of the answer. And that seems to me quite clear in many cases. And in any case, it fits both with the method that we see if you look at Tolkien's manuscripts. That is, if you read, which I highly recommend, the volumes of the history of Middle-earth, which are the history of the Lord of the Rings. That is the Return of the Shadow, the Treason of Isengard, the War of the Ring, and the first bit of Sauron Defeated. You will see. And I did do Mythgard Academy discussions on each one of those books. So if you wanted to kind of read them along with me in those, you could. But anyway, if you read those, you'll find that this kind of discovery very often happened. Tolkien never comes up with ideas more fruitfully than when he's writing about them. So many of the things that happen in the Lord of the Rings happen because he starts writing a scene. Either he starts writing dialogue, right? And a character starts talking, and pretty soon they're saying things, and he has no idea. And he's got to figure out. Most of the history of Gondor was revealed in that conversation with Faramir. Remember when Faramir goes on and on and on with Frodo on their way back to Hineth Anun? That conversation. It's not just that Faramir says, lots of stuff about, or he chose through that conversation with Faramir to reveal this stuff about Gondor. That's when he figured most of it out. There was a lot of uncertainty about the history of Gondor prior to that conversation, and many of the things about it, he came to him as Faramir was talking. And I love how he talks about it. He talks about it like he can't even stop it, right? He's like, this Faramir character, he says in a letter to Christopher, at the time, he's like, this Faramir guy, just keeps talking. And if he doesn't stop talking soon, he's going to have to be removed to the appendices. But he was learning. He was discovering things as he went. You can see other times when he does similar things, like, for instance, when he gets to Lothlorien, which was meant to be the incident with Haldir and the orcs and the Flet, right? That was it. That was going to be the elf encounter. But then he was like, oh, they should probably take them to their king. No, wait, queen. They're going to have a queen instead. Yeah, no, it's totally a queen. And then the entire character of Galadriel emerges. They get to the queen and he discovers she's Galadriel, right? And Galadriel had never been a glimmer in his eye before then. She was no part of the earlier mythology. So, again, this kind of thing happens to Tolkien a lot, and I'm very convinced that it happens in his letters in the same way. So again, when Tolkien, this is another thing to keep in mind when you're reading Tolkien's letters. He's not like, it's not, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what I already know, right? It's usually, let's discover this together, right? And so sometimes it comes and sometimes it doesn't. There are a couple things that he is like resistant to, not just to like telling about, but to thinking about things that he wanted to be a mystery. The Entwives, I believe, are one of those things. So when he is speculating that they might have died, he is saying what seems to him, again, he's at that moment kind of working out the story. He's certainly saying they lived in the Brownlands. The Brownlands have been destroyed. They were destroyed by Sauron. They were destroyed by Sauron during this particular time. That's totally what Sauron would have done. Right. And if Sauron had, so his speculations there do seem to be kind of based on probability of what Tolkien saying what Sauron would likely have done, what the likeliest outcomes would have been. But he doesn't get into full discovery. I don't hear full discovery mode there. Again, like it does not sound the same way that it does in other places when he's kind of explaining lore by means of discovering the lore, right? And he's always a little resistant. So when he comes back to the Catholic priest he's writing to in 72 and says, I don't know, I don't think he's being coy. I don't think he's exactly changed his mind, and I don't think he's being coy, and like withholding information or something like that. I think that he is... I think that he was never definitive about it. I think that his previous answer was not meant to be a definitive answer. His answer to Naomi Mitchison was meant to be sort of, and that letter is enormously long. The letter 144 is very, very long. And he's dealing with lots of questions. Again, this is somebody who had been reading the proofs of The Lord of the Rings, and he's in the middle of finalizing the proofs, and he's really excited, and he's sort of wanting to sort of connect the dots, right, and explain things in the story. And there's also a little bit of a level of like justification of the story in some ways that is like motivated to show you how deep the story, not deep, that's the wrong way of saying it, but you see what I mean? Like he wants to show what there is behind the story and what more there is to say, how rich the story is. I'm not saying there's salesmanship exactly in that letter, but like almost, right? Kind of in that direction. He's keenly interested in talking about answering her questions to explain the world behind. And she was a very interested and engaged reader, which he always, of course, really appreciated, as all authors do. So that was kind of part of that, I think, as well. But again, do I think he's giving at that point a definitive answer? I think that even the phrasing in that letter seems to me non-definitive, and I suspect deliberately so, because he hadn't really worked out the story. And so later on, when he returns to the question, he doesn't come back and re-emphasize or re-solidify his speculation about the fate of the Entwives. Instead, he doubles down on the uncertainty and just says, I don't know. So if I had to choose between one of them, I mean, if somebody absolutely forced me to say, do I think that Tolkien thought the Entwives were dead for sure, or do I think that he didn't know what happened to them? I would have to say I think that I don't know answer is the more definitive of the two in that sense. But I do think that it remains true that he believed that that if you instead, threatened Tolkien instead of me with violence, he would say under duress, the most likely thing is that they were dead. If you had to lay odds on it, right, they're probably dead, but he doesn't know. He does not give a really definitive answer for that. So anyway, that's my answer, I think, to that. A couple more things that I'd be interested to say about the Earthly Paradise stuff in particular. But let me come back to that in a second. Let me talk to poor Nona, who's probably wondering. So yeah, I got your herbs.
The smoke of burning herbs was often used in Lonach. Will it work here?
Well, yeah, well, it's, well, I don't know that it's magic exactly, but yeah, no, give it a shot. Absolutely. See if the herbs will work. I'm supposed to, no, Horn, I'm not talking to you. In fact, I'm not ignoring you, Horn. I'm not mad or anything. I'm just not wanting to skip the Balewood. I'm really not. I'm absolutely not. I'm psyched about the Balewood, in fact. But what am I meant to do now, Nona? Throw them into the fire. Right, okay. Here we go. All right. All right, Elf Gifu, you might want to step back. It's going to get fragrant in here. Hey, Dying Man. Are we going to change your title to Recovering Man?
Who's there? Are you a friend?
Of course. The giant returns? Seriously. Dude, are you seriously mistaking Gryfflet for a giant? The man struggles violently for a moment before breathing deeply and attaining a measure of calm. I'm Leodwig, son of Harding, Aldor of the North March. Yes, I found Leodwig. He was Dying Man all along. Well, don't worry, I won't tell your father about your new nickname. I came into Wildermoor to learn what, but no use. Separated from my men, the storm arose, lost in a gale. Leodwig twists and turns before settling into a calm once more. The giant's name is Nurzum. Yeah, we know. He brings the snows and wind. We figured that out too. Something he carries, I think. He saw me in the snow near the city. I was lifted in the air. A thunderous blast of hot air, and then... Hot air, really? Leodwig shakes and will say no more, but the odor of the burning herbs seems to have broken him out of his stupor. Cool. All right, Nona, how about those herbs, right? What did you think, Corridon? Pretty impressive, right, with the herb lore?
He lives, for now, and is the very man we came here to find.
He lives, for now, says the elf, right? Well, so the good news, Gryfflet, is that, you know, he might make a full recovery. The bad news is he's just going to die in a few decades anyway, so, you know, you're wasting your time. But it's all good, right? Yes, there he is, Leodwig, son of Harding. What would Harding say to know that his son was saved by a Dunlending girl? Perhaps it is best not to think of that for now, Gryfflet. I can piece together some of his story from what he said. He was separated from his men when the storm rose, right? That must have been Nurzum approaching, agreed. He made for the most visible landmark he could find. It must have been the hill upon which Bir Tor is built. Ill fortune for Leodwig, for that seems to have been Nurzum's destination. Right. Okay, we must do something about Nurzum, but what? He is too strong for us to fight directly. Could we trick him in some way? I will think on it, but I cannot promise a solution will present itself to me. All right, Corridon. Well, we'll come up with something. All right. I'm supposed to talk to Horn now? Yes, I am. Okay, Horn, but I'm not going to talk about leaving. There we go.
Everywhere we go, we find rumor of this giant, this Nurzum.
Yeah, I've been hearing quite a bit about him. You say that the man Nona has been trying to heal is the very man for whom we sought, Leodwig, the son of Harding. Yep, we found him, and it will be a bittersweet victory if he dies. Okay, right, we find rumor of Nurzum. What can we do about Nurzum? We cannot engage him in combat, that much is clear. Attacking his feet might prove possible if we could somehow avoid the attacks that we're sure to follow. And by all accounts, he brings the storms of winter with him wherever he treads that will limit visibility and make it difficult to strike him. I have no military mind, Gryfflet. Nurzum seems invincible to me. But we will need to destroy him or Wildermoor will not be safe. I do not know what to do. We also... Horn, need to learn about his background and how he came here and what he is exactly in order to satisfy my insatiable curiosity. So, Nona, what do you have to say about this?
The old ways are best, it seems.
Yeah, they are. I am heartened to know the magic of the hewers of Llanwch works even in the land of the horse lords. The most injured of my charges is named Leodwig, and he is the man for whom you sought? What a wonder that they should be one and the same. My father Solvolk would find some meaning in this, but for me I see fortune only. Still, it is a happy fortune if he lives. That is not yet certain. For as long as the giant lives, the people are in danger. What do we do about Nurzum? That is the oh, we've got to talk to Gleowina. All right. You know, you don't think you two would be comfortable standing a little closer together? Come on, you guys are playing this awfully coy. I mean, I know you're still kind of working through some issues there, but I think you could kind of talk this out, guys, now that you're standing in the same cave together. What do you think, Gleowina? No, not my inventory. That's not what I want.
I am no warrior. I am only an aged musician.
No, I think, Gleowina, what you mean is, I have nothing to contribute. What can I do against such a ferocious creature? I am no warrior. I am only an aged musician. Even Theoden King had no more use for me. Oh, we get another interlude.
What am I saying? There is still something I can do.
Yeah, what are you saying? You mean, wait a moment. What am I saying? There is still something I can do. For the first time you remember since arriving in Wildemore, Gleowine favors you with a smile. How can I have forgotten my old lessons? When I was instructing Horn in the ways of music, one of the very first things I taught him was that the minstrel's greatest power is that of inspiration. Music lets us shine a light into the darkest corners of our heart, bringing into it hope and good feeling. When Horn was still young, I told him this, for I believed it, and I believe it still. Speak to the survivors of Birtor in this cave, Gryfflet, and find out what it is that they desire, and then make it happen. Gleowina's smile is even more broad this time. What? You are the adventurer here, Gryfflet? I am sending them hope, that is all. I am sending them you. Ah, man. My favorite running joke ever. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so you're sending them hope. Let's send hope. Hey, Elf Gifu. There's an interlude. A new interlude, right? All right, we'll look into that in a second. Elf Gifu.
I cannot bear to think of the horses tied up in the stables of Birtor.
Find out what they want and give it to them, huh? Okay. Let's see. That is an easy question to answer. Because my sleep has been troubled by the same thought. Did I do wrong by the horses in Birtor? Oh, man, I hear that. Were it not for the horses at the stable in Birtor, I would not be alive today. I am certain of it. Their panic caused me to learn of the attack with enough time to make it partway down the hill before the snowstorm covered everything, and with it came the giant. I cannot bear to think of those horses still tied up at the stables, helpless against the orcs. What do I want? I want you to untie the horses at the stables in Birtor and let them run free. That will give them the same chance I had of escaping a cruel death at the hands of the orcs. All right. So giving everyone hope is the same thing as like doing lots of regional quests?
That's still
cool.
not myself, but I will do my best to speak.
But in good news, Leodwig, your floaty name has changed, so that's all to the good. And it didn't change from dying man to corpse, so it's all good. What do I want? I want revenge upon that great lumbering giant. Nurzum, he slew my men, almost devoured me. Weedfara. You tell him that Weedfara survived. I was wondering if we were going to break this news to him. And the encounter with Nurzum, survived the encounter with Nurzum and made his way back to Shulfig, where you met him. Ah, very glad. He was a tough one. Oh, and Leodwig, he is, I believe, going to survive into Days of Blessedness. No spoilers or anything, but I like Weedfara's chances. I'm just saying I like Weedfara's chances. Okay, in the snow I could not see the way to go. Nurzum must be defeated or... Exhausted by the effort, Leodwig leans back and can say no more. Yeah, don't worry, man. Don't trouble yourself. We'll take care of it. I am confident we're going to find a way to solve the Nurzum problem. Hang on. There's some more hope I need to give over here. Okay, Uma. What do you have to say?
I remember the names of the orcs that led the attack. I want them slain.
Okay. Right. Foshnu and Kritar. All right. Do not misunderstand me. I want them slain, but I want them to know it was a woman of Bir Tor that has ended their lives. Perhaps this will suffice. Find and slay either Foshnu or Kritar. Save one of them for me. All right. Fair enough. When I am well enough to fight, I will seek out the one you spared and fulfill my vengeance upon him. Will you find... So we'll divide the work, right? Many hands make light work, Yuma, as far as, sworn vengeance is concerned. Okay, and in a few days, you'll find the remaining... All right. Sounds like a deal, Yuma. No problem. And then Elda.
What is it I want? I want the orcs driven from Bir Tor.
Sensible. You want to return to your home. Okay. That will take some doing. Right, I know. You're telling me, Elda, because I've killed most of the orcs in Bir Tor like 3 times now, and, it still hasn't taken, so... oh, wait, but there's something else. The thing that most stirs my heart, most fills me with anger against the orcs is the brief sight I had before that chunk of masonry took me from the battle. I saw the orcs looting a house, the house of one of my neighbors. They had found a wooden carving of a horse, a crude thing, to be honest, of poor craft, and were waving it about. It meant nothing to them, but I knew it for what it was, a child's first attempt at carving. It would mean little to most, but to that boy's family it was no doubt priceless. I cannot bear the thought of such heirlooms in the hands of the orcs. When you return to Bir Tor to satisfy the quest of my fellows, please remember... the requests, that is, also their quests. Please remember to recover such things from the orcs you slay. So, oh, wow, I've got 6 stolen heirlooms. I got a whole bunch of crudely carved horses. And the stables, and Foshnu or Kritar, my choice. Okay. All right, no problem. We can do this. All right. All right, Sam, are you suggesting that by sending Gryfflet, Gleowina is sending them a little hope? Right. Gryfflet will not be offended by that. Okay. Let me say then the last thing I wanted to say about the... what is happening here? I have no idea. What? Stop moving. Okay. Now go, Gryfflet. And in a more or less straight line. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to say about the Entwife situation and that stuff is just a brief comment, because this is a clarification I feel that is often needed. Many people look at Treebeard's song, the Song of the Ents and the Entwives, right, and say that, and like basically kind of characterize that as Treebeard's, what is that question? As Treebeard's now entering Balewood. Wah! And going off a cliff? Holy cow. Okay. What happened there? I'm still moving. Tee-hee. Okay. Let's get out of here. Okay. Don't really know how this occurred. So anyway, what I wanted to say was that a lot of people look at that song and sort of say, here's Treebeard's like answers essentially to the questions about, or his like ideas about what his ideas about what happened in to the Entwives or, whatever else. The thing I would emphasize, because I believe it to be very important, is that that is definitely not the case. He is not giving his answer to the question at all. He is quoting an elvish song. This actually, amusingly, was the subject of the very first Tolkien thing I ever professionally published as a scholar. The article in, volume 5 back in the ancient days of Tolkien studies. When I published an article on the Song of the Ents and the Entwives, I did a close reading of this song. And one of the points that I was making in that article is that, of course, if you listen to what Treebeard says, he not only says that it was an elvish song, he critiques it, right? He doesn't particularly, there are things he doesn't like about it. He says that the Ents would have had more to say on their side, like, again, he disclaims it as, explicitly disclaims it as giving the Entish side of the story. The Ents would have much more to say if they were telling this story themselves. So he's quoting it as an elvish story and explaining also that he doesn't even understand exactly what it's getting at the end there, when it talks about, perhaps they will find a land where both their hearts may rest. He doesn't know what it's talking about there. So I just wanted to make sure to emphasize that is not, don't read that song as Treebeard's conclusions, Treebeard's assessment of the story of the Entwives. It is not, it is definitively and explicitly not that. And of course, in that late letter, that letter 338 that I was reading from, Tolkien also makes it explicit that, that the elves, neither the elves nor the Ents actually know what the fate, the ultimate fate of Ents and Entwives are after death. So anyway, that's the last thing I wanted to say about that, just to make sure that was clear. Okay. All right. So here I am. Now, I've got a trait and I can't use it. I seem to have run to the end of my trait trees. Which is interesting. Why is it that this one won't unlock? I wonder. Or these. Why can't I do this one? Oh well. Anyway, I guess I'm going to be doomed to have trait points sitting around unused indefinitely. How unsatisfying. But that's okay. All right, so let us go in and try to... What is it with that spotlight? I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. But that's fine. Okay, excuse me, guys. Just an innocent roving spotlight. So I need to collect stolen heirlooms. Can any of these guys have it? All right. Well, let me just go up towards the stables first thing. Oh, I need 2 of them for those? Okay, fine. I'll wait till I get another trait point then. All right, there's the horses. Hey, guys. I am here to set you free and bring hope to the people. Be free, horses. Be free. Horses who are improbably still alive. All right. Well, that was good. We look for Foshnu and Kretar then, and then I'll fight my way out of the city. I think I've already killed at least one of them. Oh, there he is. I'm pretty sure it was him, too. All right, Marauders. All right, come over here. Oh, you had stolen wooden horses? You should be ashamed of yourselves. All right, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to slay Kretar. Boom. Oh, half your morale in one shot. Okay. Excellent. I will never win back this puny town. It's beginning to look like that might be true. I feel like things are kind of stacked against me here. Hey, maybe there are some stolen heirlooms in this backpack. Okay. All right. I will come back to other questions now. All right. All right, JJ, I see earlier today had a baselessly speculative lore question. Once Gollum came out of the mountains to search for Bilbo, would he have gone to his old town first? If he recognized Bilbo as a hobbit, wouldn't it make sense for him to search where he knows such creatures live? That's a really interesting question, JJ. I would say two things to that. First of all, he would go with the information that he had about... He would first go with the information that he had about Bilbo specifically, right? And the information that he had about Bilbo, that he was able to glean was that he went out to the Lonely Mountains, right? So, oh, hang on, I gotta not kill Foshnu. Right, as I said, was that he went out to, not the Misty Mountains, to the Lonely Mountain. Yeah. Anyway, so the first thing he did was try to track Bilbo himself. He... Oh, nice, I got all the heirlooms. Yeah, so that's... actually, I'm going to mount up. So that was his first move. Now, did he ever... Like, if he recognized him as a hobbit, as you say, does that suggest, perhaps that he would... does that suggest that he would go back and look at his, for his people back in his home? Okay, so again, no, not first. First, he would follow, the hot leads about Bilbo himself. And so I think that he would first have gone to the mountain and then to Dale. And then after that, he would have tried to head back towards the Shire. So I don't think that... it is an interesting idea, if he recognized him as a hobbit or something similar to his own people, to see if perhaps he was from like the old homestead, But anyway, so yeah, I think it is possible that he could kind of think in that way, but I don't think that he would have had any kind of sort of urgency to go in that direction. Instead, he would have gone in the other directions first. Now, do I think that Gollum maybe went back by the old homestead when he... later on? I mean, he was spending a bunch of time on the outskirts of Mirkwood, like eating babies and stuff like that. Yeah, I bet he did. I bet he did. Now, we don't see evidence of Gollum being a very sentimental guy, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised to find that he had sort of done that or gone in that direction. Hey, look, I did find the way to the cave entrance without jumping down the cliff for the first time ever. Okay. All right, Uma, good news.
You are back, and I can tell you have defeated one of the orcs responsible.
Don't tell me which one survives. I'm keen to guess. Okay. She gives me a truly frightening smile, and you quickly excuse yourself. Okay, we're gonna edge slowly away from Uma. You do you, Uma.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, no worries. Yeah, I've collected a bunch of crude wooden horses. When I'm fully recovered, I will look for other survivors of the attack so I may return their keepsakes. They also might want, food and clothes. But, hey, I get it, man. It's fine. The keepsakes, that was a great idea. We're restoring hope, Glawina. It's working. Restoring hope by means of, errand quests.
Thank you for freeing the horses.
You're so
I wish them
welcome.
good fortune.
I wish them good fortune, too. Hey, Leodwig, Leodwig, who's now not quite dead, man. Okay, right. Yeah, no. I'm still working on the newer Zoom problem, Leodwig. All right, what do you think, Glawina?
Do you see how much their spirits have improved?
Do you see how much their spirits have improved? They have been inspired by your deeds and your actions, and though Birtor remains in enemy hands, you have helped to restore some of the fire to their hearts. I must tell you, Gryfflet, you are an inspiration not only to these survivors in Nana's care, but to this old man as well. Thank you for showing me that there are those out in the world still able to do some good. Perhaps I will write another song. Oh, I hope you do, Glawina. I hope you do. Okay, the Ox and the Dragon. Halrosa's Watch. Woohoo! Let's do this. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting the new interlude, Holgro. I just wanted to restore hope. I felt if I could raise the atmosphere in the room a little bit first, it would be better. All right, Halrosa's Watch. Let's see. Meanwhile in Dunland, Halros has been awoken for his shift at the night watch. Okay. Meanwhile, at a camp. Oh, I see. This is that's oh man, that's Theodred's old camp, right? In memoriam of Theodred. I recognize that camp.
Meanwhile, in Dunland, Halros of the Dunedain has been woken for his turn at the watch.
Oh man, the old fires have gone out in the milestone. The reflecting pool has gone cloudy. It is as if the land itself is mourning Theodred. Lots of snoozing rangers. What do you say, Prestideer? You say things in very small text, apparently. Okay. I'm sorry to wake you, Halros, but it is time for your watch to begin. These last few hours have been quiet, and it was a struggle at times to keep my eyes open. I will be glad of the sleep. There is a good place to watch among the trees just to the west. Okay. Alright. We're walking. Right here? Okay. There were usually mobs here before, man, but whatever you say. For the first hour I watch, nothing stirs. Okay. have no idea where this session play is headed. Second hour. Your mind wanders. That's some high drama. What is my mind wandering to? I hope the Shire is protected without me. Yeah. True. I remember Halros from the edges of the Shire. Did that shadow move? Which shadow? I didn't see it. Oh, I've got an uneasy feeling that I have to investigate. Oh, wait, hang on. Up here. Did I miss the ominous shadow? Oh, that shadow. Hang on, what are my skills? Wait, let's see. I've got quick shot. I've got quick stab. And I've got stealth. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, and now I've got Love of the Shire. Ooh, I want to use Love of the Shire. What does it do? It's a heal over time. Nice. That's excellent. Oh. I thought you were an orc. Hi. Oh. I was just going to talk to you. I thought maybe we could be friends. No? I just have to stab you quickly a whole bunch of times? Can I shoot you again? Oh, I can shoot you as well. Okay. I didn't realize you'd be hostile. A Falcon Clan scout! The camp is about to be attacked! I can't just, like, sound a horn or something? To wake everybody individually? Wake up! Wake up! Oh, good. Everybody's awake. Good. Or that whole group. Hey, wake up! We're under attack! Danger! That's right. Hey, yeah, you too. Come on. Up and at him, Mr. Under the Bushes. Yeah, we're pretty much in danger. Wait, who's this? Oh, Halberad! Okay, I thought this would happen one of these nights. We may not have much time before the Falcon Clan attacks. Slip down the hill and to the side and see if you can approach our attackers from behind. Halros, Prestadir, come with me and we will see if they can listen to reason. All right. Yeah, let's reason with them. Find out the number of our foes. Show yourselves, Falcons! That's right. When you were imprisoned in the caves, my father showed you mercy. I will not make the same mistake. Kill them, my warriors. Okay, hey, can I get maybe another... Oh. I can't fight her? Alright, I'll just quick stab you a whole bunch of times and occasionally shoot you too. Now I'm going to think about the Shire. Because I like to think about the Shire. What's the skill called again? Love of the Shire. Right, yeah. Okay. Alright, Halros has lame skills. Like, super lame skills. To me, my warriors. Oh, dear. I'm stabbing. I'm shooting. I'm stabbing. I'm shooting. I missed him. Oh, more warriors. Meanwhile, she's just going to carry on pacing around saying, kill them, kill them. Okay. Will my love for the Shire extend to my companions? Are they not going to be helped because they love the Shire less than I do? I will not return to my father in disgrace. Better to die here than return in failure. Okay. Can do. It is over. Farewell, Meyer. Your father will join you soon. There's honor to be had by attacking a sleeping... There's no honor to be had, excuse me, by attacking a sleeping foe, but we should have expected nothing else from the Falcon clan. Meyer learned that lesson tonight to her sorrow. We have not repaid Lou Brennan and the Falcon clan for our losses, not by a wide throw, but we have shown them our claws. We are all fortunate you have such alert senses. I'm glad you journeyed south with us. For this reason and many others. Look, dawn breaks, and your vigil for the night is ended. Let us break our fast and see the coming of the day. Okay, just sort of checking on the Dunedain progress. Boy, they haven't gotten far from Tal Mythedros. All right. All right, thank you, Gleowina. All right, I'm looking forward to your new song. I'll go back to Nonna. And maybe she'll send us back to the Balewood.
Horn and I spoke about many things while you were away.
Did you? Are you still social distancing, or what? You've come to a decision. Oh, this ought to be good.
Why did Norzum come first to Bir Tor? I want to find out.
He seems to spend a great deal of time around that city. So many of this land's problems stem from him. Until he's defeated, none of the people here will be safe. True enough. Okay, Horn has proposed that we return to Bir Tor and look for some means of defeating Norzum. What is it about the city that drew the giant there so early? I cannot leave the people here for long, but for a few hours they will be fine in Gleowina's care. What do you think? Speak with Horn and Corridon about this last adventure and tell me when you are ready to depart. Hey, we're getting the team back together again? Okay. What do you say, Horn? Kind of exciting, right?
It will be nice to adventure with Nona. But this is really about defeating Norzum.
It's totally about defeating Norzum. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It will be nice to adventure again with Nonna. Why do you give me such a look that I'm only thinking of Wildemore? I know, man. Look, it's not that I don't think you were, but I get it. No reason to be ashamed about that. Okay. All right, Corridon. This is going to be awkward like usual, but...
Keep your wits about you. I fear Horn may not.
I do not know how I feel about it. There might be some insight to be gained concerning the giant, for he certainly seems to be drawn to Bir Tor, but I worry that Horn is letting his feelings for Nona cloud his judgment. Okay. I fear what Horn may not. All right. Oh, good, an instance. I don't have to ride over to Bir Tor again. I'm about done with navigating through these hills.
Are you ready to depart? I do not wish to be gone for very long.
Okay, we should search the city. Okay, let's do it.
While I remain behind, my friends journey to Bir Tor to see what they can learn of Norzum. Perhaps I worry unnecessarily. But what will I do if they are unable to return?
Oh, don't worry. I think another fate lies before Horn. All right, here we are. The fearsome threesome. Back together in Bir Tor. Birtor looks much as it did when we were last here. We have been fortunate to run into fewer orcs than before, but remain alert. I've seen nothing yet that might reveal Norzum's interest in Birtor. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, no, I agree. The orcs are not being stealthy. The same cannot be said for Gryfflet. Boom. Yeah, everybody's good. You will go with Nana to search the other side of town? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Corridon is like, yeah, let's not leave you two lovebirds alone. That's right, stay focused. Elf talk remains a puzzle to Nana? Yeah. Okay. All right, Horn, you stick with me. Yep. We're not going this way? We're going that way? Okay. No, we are going this way. Let's search for... Oh, is it getting colder? That's never a good sign. The wind is picking up. I think we may have found what we sought. Stay by me and get ready to run if we must. Whoa. Yes, sir. Aldstan, I have come for you. Well, you're not real well hidden there, Horn. Whoa, he's just taking out fences. By the house of Eorl. Wait. Okay. What's he doing? It is one thing to hear of Norzum's great size and strength, but it is entirely different to see it for yourself. How can we hope to fight such a creature? Woe be to Aldstan if Norzum finds him. I will destroy your city. Okay, this way. We're gonna hide in the stables? No, we're just gonna stand over here. Okay. I love the ice club. We cannot keep like this for long. Norzum may not be looking for us, but if he happens upon the two of us while searching for Aldstan, he will not show mercy. That much I know for certain. And what if he happens upon Nona and Corridon? We cannot stay here. We have to find them and leave the city. He does smash things really well, but we must not tarry. He's definitely not a normal giant. Uh-oh. Nana's gone. Nana and I were driven apart, and I have not seen her since. She must still be in the city. That great shaking can only be Norzum. We must not let him see us. If we do not dispose of these orcs quickly, he is sure to find us. Okay, right, but where's Nana? We should probably... Corridon, like... Oh. Alright, fine, orc. I hate the disarming thing. Okay. Alright. Let's hurry. Yeah. Where's Nana? Let's find Nana and get out of here. The whole splitting up thing. Not a great plan, guys. Oh, wait. Here she is. What? I just arbitrarily dropped dead? Seriously, what was my cause of death right there? I'm super confused.
Are you ready to depart? I do not wish to be gone for very long.
Super confused. I guess I was supposed to stay back with Horn and Corridon? And I wandered out into the street and then Nurzum came? That was weird. And of course, there's like no way of knowing that. I couldn't see him from where I was. I didn't even know that like just mere proximity like that would kill me. Probably good to find that out though, because... Defied the quest text? Oh, did I? Well, okay. I suppose it's punishment enough. Okay. All right, Horn. Let's go down this way. I'll wait for you here. I agree. JJ was saying before, if he can take out some random section of fence, he's capable of anything. He's going to smash this wagon. All this stuff is just, oh man. No hope for it. See, look how he's... Look at his arms. Again, he just does not look like a living creature. He looks more like a construct. Watch what he's gonna do to this wagon! Oh, the humanity! Oh, such ferocity. Okay, don't worry. I'm not going to tarry. Well, now you tell me not to tarry, and then later on, if I don't tarry, I'm going to die. It's so confusing. Okay. First the not tarrying, then the tarrying. I get it. Now the slaying of a few orcs. Oh, come on. They disarmed me just from being nearby? They weren't even attacking me. All right. Okay. Now hurry. I was hurrying. That's what I was doing before. And there's Nurzum. It is Nona. She is right in Nurzum's path. Okay. He's just going to hang out there? We have to do something? Oh, did she run into the stable? All right. We cannot do anything from here. Perhaps if we could get to the other side of the courtyard. We might be able to run behind Nurzum while his back is turned. From the far side of the courtyard, we could get his attention and draw him away from Nona. Okay. I'm following. Woo! Hang on, I'm trying to get everybody in the picture here. All right. I see. So there's Nona. She's cornered by the house, and he's just like kneeling there watching her. Okay. Come up with some way to distract Nurzum's attention before he sees Nona. And she scampered away, and we're doing nothing. We must flee. Corridon. We're not even going to try to save Nona. I'm with Horn on this one. I mean, she looked like she was scampering fairly effectively, but... Is there nothing we can do? I know, right? We should totally do something. Yeah. Wait with Horn until he decides to leave. No, I feel the same. Oh, okay. It will take more than that creature to best Nonna of the Oakluth. But I'm sorry I worried you. Okay. Whew, boy, Nonna, you did have us worried there for a moment. It was not difficult to escape the giant. He's big and I am small. He is slow and I am fast. He is an unnatural thing given to evil, and I am the sister of Wadu, daughter of Solvuk. He is alone and I have friends who care for me. This Nurzum was o'ermatched before he even came to Beertor today. I was never frightened of him. Still, I'm glad we're safe. We should leave this place before he realizes we have gone. And Gryfflet, thank you for watching out for Horn today and for the last several days. It eased my worry of heart to know that you were by his side. Okay. He is big and I am small. He is an unnatural thing given to evil. This is a sentence I wanted to go back to. An unnatural thing given to evil. And that is an interesting assessment, Nonna. An unnatural thing was just what I was observing too. That he looks more like a construct than a creature? No. I just dropped back into the cave. Okay. I was totally going to talk to Horn right there, but...
That was an eye-opening experience for certain.
Oh yeah. I have heard tales of Nurzum, as have we all. But there is nothing to compare, seeing him at such a close distance. We cannot hope to defeat him by ourselves. Cordon looks thoughtful. For a moment, considering alternatives, I believe I have the answer. We need the very earth to turn against him. We need the strength of the Ents. Okay. Oh, sorry. I need a quest reward. Let's see. What do we have here? Nurzum's cover. Nurzum's shade? What even is that? Oh, it's another shoulders. Okay. All right. I guess the cover.
We need the earth itself to turn against Norzum.
You saw the great strength of Rudhrif in the Eves of Fangorn. How unfortunate that Baldbark is so far away, or we might call upon him to help. No, we must search for aid closer at hand. The Balewood is not far from here, and perhaps an Enter 3 might be found within it. You and I should go there and seek for the oldest Ent we can find. Only he will have the authority to command such an attack as we need if Nurzum is to be defeated. You ask Cordon if such an Ent would trouble himself to help, considering how coldly you were received by Baldbark, and the elf seems puzzled. Why, of course he would. Surely a giant such as Nurzum must pose some threat to the Ents as well, mustn't he? I will mark a number of glades on the map, and we can search them until we find one with an old enough Ent for our purposes. Okay, we need a super old Ent, huh? Okay. Super old Ent. Find the glade of the oldest Ent in the Balewood. And it's way in there, so it's time to go back to the periphery. Oh man, I'm almost out of time. Here I thought I was going to spend today doing Balewood quests, but no. Maybe I'll get through a couple of them. Let's see. But first, another interlude. Calanglad's Appeal. Your eye is drawn west across the map, beyond the borders of Rohan, and comes upon the rocky hills of Dunland. You wonder what has become of Calanglad and the Grey Company since you left them. Yes, I do. Does Calanglad have a skill? What happened to it? Oh, I hit cancel instead. Oops. Does he have a skill called Unrequited Pining? Yeah, that's what I figured Colin Glad would be thinking about. Gigantic elk.
Meanwhile, Collinglad of the Dunedain seeks for answers in the forest of the Mornshaws.
Okay, he's in the Mornshaws? The Mornshaws? What's he doing up here? Did they split up? They didn't make it to Dunland? Hi, Helcon. Perhaps you could explain to me what the heck we're doing here. Collinglad, we have been journeying for hours, fighting the corrupted denizens of this forest, and we are no closer to learning anything. I know Direvon spoke of seeing a great spirit in these woods, but we have seen no sign of such a lord. Oh, yeah, he's worth seeing, but whatever beast or magic shakes the stones of Talmethedros, we will learn nothing of it in these woods. More beasts attack. Whoa! Corrupted bears. Okay, what do we got here? We're going to use quick stab and, oh, see, wide sweep. That's just the kind of thing that I thought would have been handy when I was Halros. And Dunedain strike. Okay, and then what's this one? We've got Kalenglad's battle cry for Enuminus. His battle cry brings to mind the city of Enuminus and lowers the morale of his opponents. Okay, oh, a big one. Okay, and then Thoughts of Gwyndeth. Okay. He brings his memories of the Blue Lady with him wherever he goes. She's not into you, Calenglad. Restores his morale. Okay. I know, right, Halcon? This is like, I won't say it's tedious, but I have a feeling about this place, but I cannot sense anything. You say you feel a mysterious presence. I feel the chill shadows of the trees and smell old growth, but nothing else. Are you sure this is the place of which Direvon spoke? There is nothing here but trees, corrupted beasts, and we too. What did Direvon speak of? I'm forgetting something. Can somebody remind me of this? What is he talking about? Did Direvon give a prophecy or something? I've forgotten. I say we leave the trees to the miserable bears and be done with it. Majestic stag, hang on. Wait, there it is. Check out the majestic stag. Huh? Now what do you think? Yeah, perhaps we shouldn't startle it. Boy, it's a slow-moving ancient spirit. Slowly approach. Hi, majestic stag. Whoa, sorry. I'm approaching. What do you think, Halcon, huh? To lead us slowly away. I think we should follow it. Majestic white stags are always good creatures in all the old stories. Ooh. Look, the trees are just... Okay, oh, now we gotta put on the afterburners here. Come on. Helcon. Here we are in the Hall of the Huntsman. Oh, this is great. You're gonna meet some of your girlfriend's cousins. Well, she's not your girlfriend because she's not into you, but we are both guests in this. My lady, he's like, hey, what's up? Yet more wonders. You are expected, mortal. Tell the huntsman what brings you hither. I love the giant ox. What are you doing, Helkan? Kicking something? You're kicking nothing. You're embarrassing me, Helkan. This is not... What is happening here? Why is he... Helkan, behave yourself. Comport yourself with some dignity, man. All right, I'm not with him. Not with him. Thanks. Or, I mean, huntsman? Love the belt buckle. Just saying. Oh, those are arrows sticking out. I'm like, what's hovering behind him? Okay. Boy, you must have a hard time getting under archways. Okay. You speak slowly and haltingly at first, but gradually with greater confidence and urgency. You tell the mighty figure of the huntsman of your concern that the Falcon clan has wrought some great evil in the caves of Tal Methedras, and that the shaking in the earth may spell the doom of your friends. The huntsman is silent for a long while before speaking. An age is ending. True. I told one before you I could not see the nature of its end. Oh yeah, right. Still I cannot, but my eyes do see that which you fear, Dunedain. A great creature stirs in the deep. Really? It was imprisoned once before, but found freedom. It has been imprisoned again. The friends of the wizard cause it pain, and use it as a weapon. Oh. Free it, little one, and your cause may be aided. Or it may not. Oh, for a second there, he left his glowing eyes behind, like the Cheshire Cat does his smile. Love his throne. Okay. Helkan, seriously. Right between Horacio and what's her name, Metatarsal over there? No, sorry. Munfaril, right. Helkan, come, seriously, knock it off. You don't know what to say, so you're going to keep kicking the air? I've never seen such wonders. I do not want to leave, but I know we must. We do not belong in this place with so much beauty around us. Did you learn anything of use from the huntsman? He seems unreal to me, as if he is only partway in this world of ours. Something like that. I never would have believed any of this, to hear you tell it, Calanglad, but I have seen it with my own eyes. You must forgive me my doubts. This journey has not reassured me. Now I am more worried than ever. If such a mighty figure as the huntsman can really exist, who knows what terror the Falcon clan would have unleashed in the caves beneath Tal Methedras. Yeah, hang on, I just wanted... Horacio, would you mind putting in a good word for me? For your cousin back up in the north? Just tell her I'm thinking about her and... Never mind. Oh yeah, Phil, Gryfflet totally came here while he was in Entwives. No question. That was right around when Gryfflet started becoming a completionist, actually, so. Okay, all right. Well, that was the most interesting interlude yet. Okay, back to the Balewood. Back to the Balewood. All right. I think I'll go by road this time. I'm mindful of Farmer Maggot's words, you know. That if you're in a hurry, the road would serve you better. Kind of think Farmer Maggot might be right about that. So let's go by this path that I found. Back up towards Birtor and then loop back around by the road. So you think it's the ancient dragon that they woke? Drygoch? I love how when I'm disguised as an orc, even the snow leopards don't want anything to do with me. Okay. Oh, right. I'd forgotten there was a stable at that camp in Birtor. Yeah. Well, that makes it much simpler.
Hail, traveler. Are you here to help us?
Which one was it? Cardrick's camp, I think? Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Okay. All right, folks. Here in the Balewood, we are heading out. Great. That was a lovely shortcut. All right, we're going to stealth ourselves, and we are going to head up back into the woods. And what are we meant to do there? I have not much time, but maybe I could... sorry, here we are. What happened here? Okay. I know. Varg! Forget it. Okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Search for a clear route west or north of the cave for an escape route from that cave. Okay. Find the lost refugees. Collect clothing from dead orcs. Right, gross. And find the oldest ant in the Balewood. Okay. Fine. So many quest rings. I guess there's a dead orc over in this direction. That's right. Sorry, Varg. I'm not into you. That's exactly it. Stop pestering me already. We've had this conversation. Okay. Oh, dead orc. Okay. There we go. Kind of like the Balewood. Like when I'm not trying to travel through it with any sort of efficiency, it's fun. I like that the Huorns don't automatically attack. I like that quite a bit, actually. I also like the random horses wandering around in here, too. You know. Just random horses wandering around like, yeah, whatever. Horns, trolls, it ain't no thing. Okay, there's another probably dead orc. No, it's a refugee. Hey there, refugee. You look like you need a nice chair.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Yeah, there's a cave. And they brought chairs. Great. Happy to help. You're welcome. Okay. We're searching. Actually, looks like I'm near the... Oh, it's Varg again. The orcs control the main pathway through Balewood. The refugees would not make it far this way. Right. Yeah, I mean, look at all those. Right. Yep. It's a lot of patrol. Frostbitten Drudger? Is it a goblin? Okay. Alright, so that's a no-go. Besides, who thought that deeper into the Balewood might be a good idea anyway? So, there was a quest arrow I was like right on top of right there. Is there a refugee like right around here? Weird. Okay. Nurzum's Wrath. Okay, fine. Look, if I accept this, will you stop popping up on the screen? Okay, more quest rings over here. Oh, look at all these quest rings. This is a fruitful area right here. Okay. Who's up here? Is it? Oh, dead orc. Okay, pillaged. Let's see. Hey, what happened to all my nice quest rings? All right. Here's one over here, hiding behind the icicles. No, it must be up on the cliff. Okay. That's fine. Another dead orc. Oh, yeah. Is that a refugee? Hey, dude, there's a cave. They brought barrels.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Hey, you're welcome, dude. Yep, cave that direction. Can't miss it. That's why all the orcs have found it. I mean, haven't found it. Okay. Is my last dead orc? No. It's my penultimate dead orc. That's fine. And here we are. Who's over here? Oh, that's my last dead orc. Excellent. Okay, no problem. Still a bunch of refugees, though. Bruises and wide wounds marked... Wait, what refugee? What refugee did I just get close to? Oh. This one? Is this the refugee in question? Do you have bruises?
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Okay. Well, that random, you know, text was a little strange. Okay. need to search the western path as well, but I'm a ways away from that. Okay, so let me head back down this hill. I see I'm out of time. Yeah, I gotta go soon, but I think I might be able to finish these. I'd kind of like to do that. Try not to be too stubborn about it, but I would quite like to come to the end of these. So, by the way, as I'm doing that, let me tell you guys, I was talking about the Mythgard Academy before. We finished our discussion of Morgoth's Ring, and so I am... we've just started another discussion, which is going to be a lot of fun. We just started talking about Dante's Inferno. So if you've never read Dante before, and you are interested in sort of seeing what Inferno is really about, the Inferno is one of those works that you hear, like, people refer to all the time, you know, and like many people like allude to it or talk about it, but have never actually read it. That's it's a fun opportunity. So we're going to read and discuss it together. We're going to be discussing about 3 cantos a week. So the reading load is very light. So just wanted to commend that to you. That's Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Is when we're doing that. We just started that. So I did my introductory session this past weekend. The first the recording of that session will be here on Twitch, and also it will be up on YouTube as well. Oh no, I already found her. What is this quest ring? It suggests that it's a refugee, but I don't see any refugee. Oh, there's a dead refugee. There she is. No quest ring. No quest ring on the mini-map, I mean. Wow, he was hard to find. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so that will be that'll be a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend that. JJ, really glad you enjoyed that class on Wednesday. That was yeah, it was a really fun discussion. I did what I don't usually do. So in Mythgard Academy, our Mythgard Academy discussions are, you know, it's like sort of not necessarily chapter by chapter in the sense of like only doing 1 chapter a week necessarily. We do sometimes a little bit more. Believe it or not, that actually does happen. But I think this must be another dead one, which is why I'm having a hard time finding it. Anyway, so normally, you know, it's our whole discussion is really focused on the text. And I did a slightly unusual thing, which was I spent a good deal of time just sort of lecturing on Wednesday, giving some background information. Aha, there's the dead one. I was right. Okay, great. Yeah, because, you know, it's Dante. He's really important, but he's also very medieval. So we did some discussion of kind of the context that Dante was writing in. So I did a little bit more, as I say, a little bit more lecturing than I usually do in the Mythgard Academy classes. But anyway, it was really fun, and I'm really looking forward to our next session as we dig a little bit more into the text. We started talking about the text itself a little bit, but we didn't get all that far in yet. So, man, little hard to navigate. not sure what I'm looking for with this quest ring. Like, there is nothing to the west over here. Oh, it's the cave. Ha! Oh, right. Okay, that's what I was steering towards. No. Not yet. Okay, so I found the cave. Great. Sure. But, no. What I want is the area north of the cave. So I've got to loop around these bluffs and get up on the top of the cliff there. Oh, I didn't even notice Norzum's footprints. Those are pretty cool. But I suppose these are his inbound footprints. So he emerged from out of here. Boy, this is like a whole village of orcs. This road is what I would call not safe for pedestrians. Yeah, so Pine Leaf, am I using a particular translation? I am. Oh, yeah. Glade of Wandering Huorns, no safety here. Okay, great. Yes, I am. The Alan Mandelbaum translation is the one that I am using. And I especially recommend for people to use the Digital Dante project at Columbia. The Digital Dante text, it has, for one thing, because you can have a really clean and convenient, it's free, of course, is one good reason. But the other is that it has like the sort of facing page Italian and English translation, so you can be looking there at both of them, which is sometimes really handy, especially if you can work out any of the original Italian, which is really useful to do. And there's wonderful notes by Professor Barolini, who is one of the great Dante scholars of our era, and there's even like free audio recordings of the Italian and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I definitely recommend that. Okay, all right. Whew, we're back. So I'll turn in the quest next time. I gotta run. But at least I did the quest. So there we are. We've made some accomplishments. We've accomplished some accomplishments here in the Balewood, and we're ready to head off and see if we can find any aged Ents of any kind. Perhaps we'll get there next time. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me. Look forward to more fun in the Balewood. Join me on Wednesday night for the Inferno discussion if you can. And I will be in touch soon. Looking forward to more adventuring next week. Thanks for joining me this week, everybody. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.